Welcome back. Let's get into our first reading review. So welcome back, everybody. Thank you for coming back to my channel. I know it's been a minute again. Sorry. I don't really have any explanation except for the fact that I started a job again. And boy, did I forget how exhausting retail can be. So, excuse the fact that there's been no videos for a couple weeks, but we are back into it again. So, I recently finished one of the first books that I set for my 2022 Goodreads challenge. So, I finished that, and I'm almost done with the second one. So, that will be my next reading review. So, I'm just going to get into this review and gush over how much I already knew I loved Les Mis, but oh my gosh, this book is so good. Okay, so the book that I read is called A Little in Love by Susan E. Fletcher, and it was a book that Carrie Hope Fletcher mentioned in a book like a couple years ago now, I think. And as soon as I realized there was a book on Eponine, I immediately bought it, because Eponine is my favorite character from Les Mis. I think she's a lot of people's favorite character in Les Mis, to be fair. She's just incredible. So for anyone who hasn't already heard of Les Mis, I don't know what to tell you, because it's been out for a very long time, and if you haven't seen it or heard of it by now, please go look it up so that you can cry with me. Did I cry at this book knowing that it ended the same way the play does and the musical does? Of course I did. Of course I did. Who would I be if I didn't cry at the end of a book about Eponine? Spoiler alert, that dies at the end. So, so the book is based on her story, and I loved it. I think I gave it a 4 out of 5 on Goodreads, which is linked down below my Goodreads if you guys want to go look at that to see what I'm reading. I try to update it as often as I can because I've really gotten back into reading a lot lately, and I'm loving it. So this is going to be a little bit of a shorter review, because all I really had to say on it are amazing things, because I loved it. I knew I was going to love it when I bought it. Like, I knew. So the thing that I love the most about this book, though, is it really, how do I explain it? It really shows how the friendship between Eponine and Marius grew, which I love, because we didn't get a lot of that in the movie, which obviously is understandable because the movie is already like 3 hours long. So there's only so much they can put into it. So like, I get it, but I love now that we have a book that gives like the history of their friendship and how they met and how that friendship grew, and it just makes it even more painful in the end. If you know, then you know what happens in the end. I'm not going to spoil it. I don't know how I could spoil Les Mis at this point because it's been out for forever, but oh, it's so heartbreaking. It's so heartbreaking. If you're looking for a good adventure, historical-ish, I mean, it's not, the June Rebellion really did happen. That's the thing. That people think it's based off the French Revolution, but it's not. It's actually based on the June Rebellion, which took place a few years after the French Revolution, so there's some history for you. But there's really not much I can say except for how much I loved it. I really did like the writing style in this too. It's like first person, which is not the kind that I usually go for when I'm reading a book, but it worked really well in the story, and I loved it a lot. I loved the writing style. I loved the narration, that all of it is based on Eponine's point of view, because we don't get like a whole lot of Eponine in the movie, to be fair, because there's so many characters you're following in the story of Les Mis, obviously. So I love that there's now a story that's on her point of view, and you see just how terrible her parents are, which we already knew, but oh my goodness, they're awful. Like, I just want to give Ebony the biggest hug because I feel like she deserves it. But I don't know what much more I can say except please read it. If you like historical, if you like heartbreaking romance, if you like adventure, if you like any of that, like if you love love stories, please read A Little in Love. It's so good. I thought that it would be too similar to the movie, and in a way it sort of is, because you know along the lines of like what's gonna happen, but they throw different things in there, and it's so interesting. Another thing that I really loved is they give Ebony and Cosette this chance to forgive one another for what happened in the past, and they give them what I feel like is a really good, solid friendship, based on, like, if you know the story of what happened to Ebony and her childhood and Cosette's childhood, then you'll know what I'm talking about. But they gave them a good ending in a way. They really they brought them together, and they were able to form a friendship. Yes, it was through this love triangle that they're in between them and Marius, but I don't know. It's so good. I loved it a lot more than I thought it was going to, because I expected it to be more like the movie, but it's really not. It's really, they add in different things that they don't show in the movie. A whole different thing with Valjean and Cosette against the Thénardiers. If that's how you pronounce their last name, I'm not sure. I'm sorry if that's wrong. I don't speak French. But I don't know. It's really good, and I just loved it a lot. And I promise my other book reviews will be longer, because they won't all be based on stories I already love. I just figured this would be the easiest one to do for my first book review. I'm still pretty new to this booktube stuff. So I just figured go with something easy and simple and something that I already know and love. So, Little in Love. Please read it. Please read it. There's so many good little lines in this book that I love and that made me cry. And just the history with Ebony and Marius is so heartbreaking, because you know she falls so hard for him, and while she's falling for him and helping him, he's trying to find someone that he loves. It's just so heartbreaking. Like, that's probably the only word I can use to describe it, but that's the story of Les Mis in general, obviously. So yeah, I hope that you guys read it, and I hope you like it. If you like historical romances or romances in general with some adventure and thrill in there, there's some like action scenes kind of with the Thénardiers against Valjean. There's just some really good things in here, and they also, obviously, Gavroche being Ebony's brother, there's quite a bit of him in here too, which is really cool. And it's Zelma, Ebony's sister, that we don't see I don't think we see her in the movie at all, if I remember right, but I knew she existed, but they don't have her in the movie, which is weird. But they have a lot of her in the books too. You really see that relationship between her and her siblings, and her and her parents. It's just really good. Please read it. Please read it. So that's gonna be my first review. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that you read the book. If you read the book, let me know in the comments, and we can cry together. Yeah, so I hope you guys liked it. And if you read the book, let me know. And feel free to comment if you have a book recommendation that's similar to this one. Please let me know, because I would love to read it. And yeah, just let me know what you thought, and if you like the book, or if you've already read it, or if you want to read it. And I hope you have a great day, night, morning, wherever it is for you when you're watching this. Stay safe. I love you guys. And that's it. Thanks. Bye.